Coming up, if you want to register to vote, you need to do it quick as deadlines are coming up.
Plus, it's going to be another hot one. We've got the latest in the Skywatch Weather Center.
And we've got tips to keep your pets safe during this intense summer heat.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, let's go to Chris Warner.
I'm not all plugged in over here yet.
Well, you're working on it.
This is what happens, early. There we go. There, all right, I'm plugged in. We're set. We're ready to go. It's hot. Take a look at this. Let me back this thing up a little bit, though. It's toasty. It's going to stay that way. As a matter of fact, let me tell you what we are watching as we head through the day today. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot through the rest of the week. And then there's a cold front. Now, see, cold is in quotation marks because cold does not really fully describe what this front's going to do, but it will arrive and bring some isolated thunderstorm chances and a cool down. We'll tell you about that too. Plus, after the cold front, I feel so bad. I feel bad with this forecast. I feel bad having to tell people this, but the summer heat is going to return next week. We're going to get a brief respite. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us nothing in our neck of the woods, but look off to our northwest. Some showers and thunderstorms. I have more bad news. These really aren't going to make it down here. They're going to fall apart. They're not really going to so much as scrape us. At 7th range line at 5:01 a.m., we are waiting for the sun to rise in an hour and 3 minutes. Until it does so, I don't think we really need it. It's already 80 degrees, feels like 82. Temperatures will continue to soar throughout the day. And of course, it's where most of us are sitting this morning on the drive-in. I noticed that it is upper 70s to some 80-degree temperatures out there. Warm weather sticking around, and again, a little bit of relief on the way. I'll break it all down a little bit later for you.
Yeah, I see the temperatures now really aren't even giving our ACs a break.
No, your electric bill this month is going to be sky high. Yeah.
No fun.
No, not at all.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, Pittsburgh police arrest 2 of 4 suspects in an alleged robbery and battery case. On Saturday, officers responded to a call about a man trying to enter someone's house. When they arrived, they found an injured man who said he had been attacked by 4 men, one of whom had a gun. Later, police pulled over a pickup matching a description from the victim and found 3 men inside. 1 ran away, 2 were arrested. Official charges have not yet been filed, and the victim is said to be in stable condition at the hospital. It was a deadly holiday weekend on Southwest Missouri roads. The Missouri Highway Patrol reports 6 traffic fatalities statewide in the counting period between 6 p.m. Friday and midnight last night. Half of those were in our area. In 3 separate accidents we previously reported, Wayne Sprinkle of Jasper died in a motorcycle crash in Barton County. Bruce Dodge of Wyandotte, Oklahoma died in a motorcycle crash in Seneca, Missouri. And Brian Bradley of Diamond died in a UTV crash near Diamond. Statewide, the patrol worked 107 traffic injuries. Southwest Missouri reports its first case of monkeypox. Officials with the Springfield Greene County Health Department say a Greene County resident tested positive for the virus. They say monkeypox spreads through prolonged and close contact. Symptoms for the virus can range from a blistering rash on various parts of the body, fever, headache, and swollen lymph nodes. Authorities say this is the 3rd case of monkeypox reported in the state of Missouri. Joplin Chamber of Commerce presents its quarterly update to the City Council. The unemployment rate in the Joplin Metro is 3.4%. Job growth has seen a 2.8% increase since the start of the pandemic. On Tuesday, the council also outlined plans for funds from the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. Joplin is receiving $13 million that must be used by the end of 2026. The council is considering 4 projects. 3 would be storm water projects, and 1 focuses on wastewater. The deadlines to register to vote for upcoming elections are nearing. Folks in Missouri are just about out of time. The deadline for the August 2nd primary in the Show Me State is today. For the August 2nd primary in Kansas, that deadline is July 12th. Oklahomans will also vote on the 2nd, and they need to register by Friday. In Arkansas, the deadline is July 10th for an election on August 9th.
Seems like that the younger folks seems like they don't have the desire to turn out to vote. They don't maybe think that it's important, but it is absolutely important. You know, this is the type of election that we will choose those that are going to be leading this country for the next 2 and 4 years.
It's important to keep our furry friends safe during this intense heat wave. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pets Hospital has some tips on how to keep your pets cool, and one is to remember their feet. If they stand on hot pavement for too long, the intense heat can burn off parts of their foot pads.
You want to make sure that you have plenty of shade wherever your animal is kept. They need to be able to dig. When dogs dig in the ground, it's because the soil is cooler, and that helps them keep cool. You can buy a little kiddie pool, fill it with fresh water every day so they can get into that. Definitely need shade. If you don't have shade in your yard, you don't leave them out there for very long.
She also says buying paw boots and removing some fur could help protect them. There's possibly no better way to spend the summer days than playing with bubbles. Joplin Public Library hosted its summertime play date. Children from 2 to 5 years old played outside for some hands-on learning. The program featured activities that featured the use of water, sand, chalk, and children saw the newest story walk book, Baby Beluga.
I wanted to give my daughter an opportunity to get out, socialize with other kids, and I find all the hands-on activities very important.
To learn about more events the library is hosting, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com.
You know, we were talking about Baby Beluga, there was a song. I'm not going to sing it, but I remember like the main line to that song. So anyway, just thought I'd toss that out there. Something else I've got to toss out there. It's warm. It is just a hair after 5 a.m. and these temperatures are already mighty toasty, and unfortunately, just, you know, avert your eyes if you're easily offended by hostile images, because this is definitely one. We are heading for a high into the lower 100s for the majority of us across the area. It is not going to be pleasant, nor is it going to cool off very quickly. And that breeze, not doing much. You know when you bake a pizza in the oven, you open the oven and you get that wave of heat? Yeah, that's what that breeze feels like. So it's not really going to help. Overnight, not cooling off much there either. We'll be 86 by 11, 81 at 2 a.m. starting the day in the upper 70s for the majority of us. These temperatures heading into the future as we go through today, as I mentioned, we're heading for highs in the lower 100s, and you can see, look all around us. There's like rain activity everywhere except here. And that's because we've got this ridge of high pressure that just says, no, I don't think so. There are some changes on the way. As we head into the weekend, there's a cold front coming in by Saturday, and we'll break that down in the 7-day forecast and whether or not that's really going to do much for us.
Yeah, you talk about the oven, like the wave of heat. It also gives you that humidity outside too, because, you know, when I open the oven, my glasses fog over.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens when you go outside in the 4 states too.
It certainly does.
All right, thanks, Chris. That's a look at this morning's top stories in weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Brittany Griner sends a letter to President Biden saying she's terrified. Plus, a group of women who walked together in Phoenix go from 11 to hundreds, all thanks to TikTok. And another deceased athlete gets diagnosed with the CTE postmortem. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
The wife of WNBA star Brittany Griner tells CBS News she will not be quiet anymore. Sherelle Griner's interview on CBS Mornings comes a day after the White House received a letter directly from Griner in which the athlete, who is being detained in Russia, pleads with the president to do all he can to bring her and other American detainees home. Michael George has the latest.
The wife of WNBA star Brittany Griner says it breaks her heart to hear the contents of a letter the basketball player wrote to President Biden. According to a representative, Griner, who was arrested in Russia in February on charges of possessing cannabis oil, wrote in part, "I'm terrified I might be here forever."
She doesn't say words like that lightly. That means she truly is terrified that she may never see us again. And, you know, I share those same sentiments.
Griner's trial began last week in Russia. The U.S. says she's being wrongfully detained. In her personal plea, Griner urged President Biden to free all U.S. captives, writing, quote, "I realize you're dealing with so much, but please don't forget about me and the other American detainees. Please do all you can to bring us home." In an interview on CBS Mornings, her wife Sherelle Griner says she's done letting the government handle things behind the scenes.
I will not be quiet anymore. I will find that balance of, harm versus help in pushing our government to do everything that's possible, because being quiet, they are not moving. They are not doing anything.
A National Security Council spokesperson tells CBS News the U.S. government continues to work aggressively, using every available means to bring her home. But Griner's wife is still waiting for a direct response from President Biden.
I still have not heard from him, and honestly, it's very disheartening.
In the letter, which was delivered on the 4th of July, Griner wrote, "Freedom means something completely different to her this year." Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Griner's trial is set to resume on Thursday. A state of emergency due to a historic drought. Plus, a check of the 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. I wish I had good news for everybody. Unfortunately, on this fine Wednesday morning, I have only bad news. It's going to stay hot through the rest of the week. As we talked about earlier, we have this cold front. Note the quotes. I'll tell you about that in just a second. Going to get here by Saturday, and then the summer heat is going to make a return. Skywatch Storm Tracker. This really isn't anything. There's really nothing going on in our area. Off to the northwest, we have some showers, thunderstorms, see some lightning strikes, but this stuff is A, moving about north-northeast, and B, it's going to just start to dissipate, and it's not really going to do anything for us. 7th and range line looking clear and nice and warm. 80 degrees is where we sit in Joplin at 5:17 in the morning. Feels like 82, dew point 65, 60% humidity. That's where we're sitting across the 4 states. We've got upper 70s to that 80-degree mark in Joplin, and the temperatures are only going to go up from there. By noon, should be about 96, 101 by 5, 98 by 8. I giggle because this is just, it's brutal. It's summertime, but it's being brutal to us. 86 at 11, 81 by 2 a.m., starting the day out right about where we are here today is going to be what we see tomorrow. Temperatures across the region, we're going to be pushing upper 90s to lower 100s. That's just the high temperatures, mind you. That doesn't include the heat index. And unfortunately, that cold front that's going to be coming in is not really going to do much for us. So that's why we have alert days today, tomorrow, Friday, and we can actually take off the one on Saturday, which is good news. Because that cold front, as you see, 102, 103, 102, overnight lows near 80. And the cold front comes through, brings us a very low-end chance of some showers, maybe a thunderstorm through the weekend. Drops the temperatures for a day before it decides, you know what? I'm not done with summer yet. And here comes those 100-degree temperatures again. And they're not going to be fun. They're going to be less than enjoyable. But, hey, summer in the 4 states, you know, what can you do? Not much. Well, a group called City Girls Can Walk is inspiring hundreds of women in the Phoenix area to start walking. The group starting up only a few months ago, but has thousands of followers after getting on social media. Irene Snyder has more.
Please come join us.
City Girls Who Walk are taking on hiking trails and parks across the valley. This week at Friendship Park in Avondale.
We actually blew up on TikTok, so our first walk was 11 people, and then our next walk was over 100 people. The power of TikTok is absolutely insane, and that's all it took.
The group invites women and their dogs to walk together every Sunday. Women who at the beginning of the walk were complete strangers and did their lap as new friends.
I'm new to Arizona, needed some new friends, and so I started coming here. You get to meet new girls every single time.
Caitlin and Kira came to their first walk not knowing anyone. Now they meet up every Sunday for the walks and also get together during the week.
We just do a short walk in the mornings, and then sometimes we'll go get brunch or go to the pool after, and it's just a great opportunity to meet new people.
But really just making friends and also like having that reason to wake up at early in the morning on a Sunday.
Because that's what it's really all about, making friends and building a community.
We just want to continue going throughout the valley and making sure that everybody feels included in City Girls Who Walk Phoenix.
This brings us to our something to talk about. Do you have a workout routine? We'd like you to tell us if you do, or if you don't, we want to hear from you. KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also vote through the KOAM app, and you can participate in the discussion on our Facebook page, KOAM News, or It's third time. Facebook.com/KOAM Fox 14. We're going to be back with Health Watch right after this.
Health Watch this morning. New CDC data shows first-time C-section rates among U.S. women are on the rise. Agency released the data on Wednesday. Between 2016 and 2019, the first-time C-section delivery rate generally declined, but then it increased 1% in 2020 and 2% in 2021, reaching a rate of 22.4%. That's the highest number reported since comparable national data on first-time C-sections specifically became available in 2016. While the rate of first-time cesarean sections is climbing, the rate of repeat C-sections falls. It decreases every year between 2016 and 2021, resulting in a 2% total decline. The FDA issues a stay of an order requiring Juul Labs to pull its products off the market in the U.S. The move is temporary. Agency said in a statement it decided, quote, there are scientific issues unique to the Juul application that warrant additional review. In 2020, the FDA asked manufacturers of e-cigarette products to submit applications to keep products on the market. Agency's June 23rd denial order for Juul came amid issues with its study data and concerns its products were encouraging dangerous habits among youths. Juul Labs disagreed, and Juul products can remain for sale while a federal court reviews the FDA order and Juul's arguments. Florida's 15-week abortion ban will remain in place for now, despite a judge blocking it on Tuesday. Planned Parenthood of Southwest and Central Florida filed a lawsuit saying the law violated Floridians' privacy rights. A judge agreed and issued a block on the abortion ban. However, in response, the state's attorney general filed an appeal to the order, which automatically keeps the ban in place. In a statement, Planned Parenthood says it will file a motion seeking to reinstate the injunction and continue to fight to permanently block the ban. A new study looked at the health risks for people reinfected with COVID-19. Researchers analyzed the health records of more than 5.6 million people treated in the VA health system. They found that getting COVID more than once appears to increase the chances a person will face new and sometimes lasting health problems. They also found that compared with those who had COVID just once, those with 2 or more documented infections had more than twice the risk of dying and 3 times the risk of hospitalization within 6 months of their last infection. They also had higher risk for lung and heart problems, fatigue, digestive and kidney disorders, diabetes, and neurological problems. The lead researcher at Washington University in St. Louis says the study shows each COVID-19 infection brings new risk, and the risk adds up over time. Research was posted ahead of peer review. Former NFL player Demaryius Thomas had the brain condition chronic traumatic encephalopathy, better known as CTE, prior to his death. This, according to the New York Times, medical officials at Boston University have now confirmed it. 33-year-old Thomas was found dead in his Georgia home last December. Family members thought his death was linked to seizures Thomas experienced after a 2019 car crash. And Boston University researchers believe Thomas most likely died after a seizure. But the Fulton County Coroner's Office has not yet given an official cause of death. Thomas played most of his 10-year career with the Denver Broncos. Some consider him to be among the best receivers in team history. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Starting the morning off on a toasty note, as you can see, most of us sitting into the upper 70s and even 80 in Joplin right now. As we take a look at the 7-day forecast real quick, that trend's going to continue, heading for a high in the lower 100s. That will continue through Friday before a cold front gets here. Saturday brings us maybe a scattered storm or 2. Otherwise, cooling off to 93 before the summer heat returns. Complete look at the forecast when we come back.
Coming up, if you want to register to vote, you need to do it quick as deadlines are coming up.
It may not look hot out there right now, but looks can be deceiving. It's going to be another warm one. Full forecast from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And we've got tips to keep your pets safe during this intense summer heat.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:29. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, let's head over to Chris Warner.
Yeah, it's unpleasant already outside, Tanya. I'm sure you noticed on your way in. I noticed the same thing.
Muggy.
It's muggy, it's warm. We don't even need the sun to rise, which, by the way, it's going to do that at 6:04 this morning. In Joplin, warm spot right now, sitting at 80 degrees. It feels like 82, and that's only going to go higher and higher through the day, unfortunately. Temperatures across the 4 states looking about the same. We've got lower 70s to that 80-degree mark in Joplin. It's only 5:30. It's only 5:30. As we head through the day, we are heading for just, avert your eyes if this offends you, and I do apologize. We're heading for a high in the lower 100s, and it's not going to, do much cooling off tonight either. Looking about the same forecast tonight. Clear skies as we head for a overnight low in the upper 70s. So less than pleasant conditions out there, but it's summertime in the 4 states. And I don't really want to show you the 7-day forecast, but I will later, and it may be distressing.
Mm-hmm. We don't even have enough digits on our hands to fill the 7-day forecast. There's just too many numbers on the board this week.
Way too many big numbers on the board, and there's really not going to be a lot of relief to those big numbers anytime soon either, unfortunately.
Well, and the important thing to think about is that the temperatures you're giving us, these triple-digit temperatures, are actual temperatures, not even what it feels like.
Right. And again, that goes into that excessive heat warning that's in effect because we've got those heat index values pushing into about 110. So, it's going to be absolutely miserable outside. If you don't have to be outside, don't be outside.
And if you do, plan ahead and drink lots of water, wear your sunscreen, long, light-colored clothing if you can.
Yeah.
Just take every precaution. Take lots of breaks. Find some shade. Do what you have to do.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, it was a deadly holiday weekend on Southwest Missouri roads. The Missouri Highway Patrol reports 6 traffic fatalities statewide in the counting period between 6 p.m. Friday and midnight last night. Half of those were in our area. In 3 separate accidents, we previously reported Wayne Sprinkle of Jasper died in a motorcycle crash in Barton County. Bruce Dodge of Wyandotte, Oklahoma, died in a motorcycle crash in Seneca, Missouri. Brian Bradley of Diamond died in a UTV crash near Diamond. Statewide, the patrol worked 107 traffic injuries. Pittsburgh police arrest 2 of 4 suspects in an alleged robbery and battery case. On Saturday, officers responded to a call about a man trying to enter someone's house. When they arrived, they found an injured man who said he had been attacked by 4 men, one of whom had a gun. And later, police pulled over a pickup matching a description from the victim and found 3 men inside. 1 ran away, 2 were arrested. Official charges have not yet been filed. The victim is said to be in stable condition at the hospital. Joplin Chamber of Commerce presents its quarterly update to the City Council. The unemployment rate in the Joplin Metro is 3.4%. Job growth has seen a 2.8% increase since the start of the pandemic. And on Tuesday, the council outlined plans for funds from the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. Joplin is receiving $13 million that must be used by the end of 2026. The council is considering 4 projects. 3 would be stormwater projects and 1 focuses on wastewater. Southwest Missouri reports its first case of monkeypox. Officials with the Springfield Greene County Health Department say a Greene County resident tested positive for the virus. They say monkeypox spreads through the prolonged and close contact. Symptoms for the virus can range from a blistering rash on various parts of the body, fever, headache, and swollen lymph nodes. Authorities say this is the 3rd case of monkeypox reported in the state of Missouri. Deadlines to register to vote for upcoming elections are nearing, and folks in Missouri are just about out of time. The deadline for the August 2nd primary in the Show Me State is today. To register to vote in Missouri, you must be 17 and a half years old, a U.S. citizen, and a resident of Missouri.
So if somebody wants to register, you have tomorrow is the last day for you to do that. So you can come by our office here in Carthage, or you can go to the courts building in Joplin, room 200, and we'll be more than happy to get you registered to vote for August.
Missouri is not the only state voting soon. For the August 2nd primary in Kansas, the deadline to register is July 12th. Oklahomans will also vote on the 2nd, and they need to register by Friday. And in Arkansas, the deadline is July 10th for an election on August 9th. Some kids in Joplin spent the day hanging out at the library. Joplin Public Library hosted its summertime play date. Children from 2 to 5 years old played outside for some hands-on learning. Program featured activities featuring the use of water, sand, and chalk. Children also saw the newest story walk book, Baby Beluga.
It's really just an opportunity to take advantage of our great outdoor space, kind of play, just engage in unstructured play.
If you want to find more events the library is hosting, you can visit our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. It's important to keep our furry friends safe during this intense heat wave, and Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pets Hospital has some tips on how to keep your pets cool. One is to remember their hydration. Giving them fresh, cold water helps hydrate them well and keeps them cool.
Yeah, fresh water. Fresh, cold water every single, maybe twice a day. Because it gets hot and evaporates. They don't mind drinking warm water. It will still hydrate them as well, but nice cool water will sure be nice. And not packed with ice, but maybe a couple ice cubes thrown in there every once in a while to cool it down.
Dr. Dudek recommends buying paw boots and shaving off some fur to help protect the pets. Well, the busy summer tourist season is in full swing in Branson with extra attention to keeping visitors safe in the heat. Madison Horner reports on how theme park guests are keeping their cool.
Guest William Washburn says the best way to describe a July day at Silver Dollar City is really hot. Washburn says luckily the park has numerous fans and water stations to help out.
There's a bunch of sprinklers that you can cool off with, and there's a bunch of ices and slushies and all that good stuff.
Kansas City's Austin Ferguson says on hot summer days like this, his family hydrates the night before and throughout the day.
Went over to the splash pad to cool off. It's really hot out today, so it's just nice to have somewhere to get away from the heat for a little bit.
When it's this hot outside, we really want people to be pushing about 5 to 7 ounces of non-caffeinated fluid every 15 to 20 minutes.
Silver Dollar City Vice President of Operations Jeff Ussery says on a 100-degree day, nothing beats hopping on a water ride to cool off.
It is important that it cools your body down. You can go back out and take some time in the park. Maybe if you do that and find some air conditioning, you get real cool real quick.
Staff safety is equally as important. That's why each ride has fans for employees, and they work split shifts to allow for more breaks.
We also have water jugs at every ride and multiple of them on bigger rides so that they can always be filling up their water.
Today my boss came around with these neck things that you soak in cold water and then keep around your neck. It makes you feel like a new person because it's really hot.
We always want to make sure that we are the ones that are going out and showing to them that we want them to stay cool, because if we set that great example, then we're hoping that they take that seriously throughout the day.
Ussery says the park also has a fully staffed first aid department ready to assist with any medical emergencies.
Definitely going to need that as we head into the week ahead. As you can see, this is noon today. 96, we're pushing highs in the lower 100s across the board with heat index values pushing 110. That's why we have the excessive heat warning, which runs through tomorrow, and hence the alert days for today and tomorrow because of that excessive heat warning. Look at these temperatures. Lower 100s through Friday. Heat index values pushing 110, and then I'm going to call it a cool front. I mean, its technical name's a cold front, but it's a cool front. It's going to bring us down to the lower 90s before summer makes a prompt return by Sunday and starting next week.
Oh, prompt return. I like your cool down. One day. Hey, we'll take it though. If we can get it, we will take it for sure.
We're going to need it because, man, it's miserable. I mean, I know it's summer, but this is just oppressive. It's different if we're sitting in the 90s through the summer. Okay, that's pretty typical, but the lower 100s for days on end.
Hey, I like the low on Saturday night though. Getting down below 70, that's just dipping in there.
Yeah, you might actually be able to give your AC a break.
Yeah, for sure.
A brief one.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, this morning we are discussing exercise routines. A group of women in Phoenix, Arizona are taking on hiking trails and parks across the city. The group invites women and their dogs, and some even bring their kids to walk together every Sunday. These women go from strangers to becoming friends, and two of the women who participate in the group even go together during the week to reinforce. The group helps people bond. It also helps build a community for the women as well, and this brings us to our something to talk about. Do you have a workout routine?
I like this result so far. It's what, 100% no? I don't have a routine either. I mean, I think it shows, but I tried jogging in the morning, but see, I had some issues at birth, so running or moving for extended distances is just not my thing, so.
I did the whole marathon training. I did that in my lower 30s, and I'm just, right now, I just spend my time chasing my children around to different activities.
See, yeah, that's what I do. I've got 3 kids, and they give me enough.
I feel like I'm always on the move, always going somewhere, just run, and
I get my crunches in and stuff because I'm like, oh, what's this? What'd you drop over here? What's this crumb? You're just continuously picking things up after them, you know. There's plenty of exercise involved in children, and you can do it indoors where it's air conditioned.
Yes, preferably.
We don't have to go outside.
Preferably, yes. All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, AMC brings back Discount Tuesdays to help encourage people to see movies. Plus, folks in Mexico take a stance on violence by protesting. We'll have the latest there. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. World Watch Mexico's Catholic Church is calling for an end to the violence in the country with a symbolic protest that started Tuesday morning in Mexico City. 2 priests and a tourist guide were killed in Chihuahua on June 20th. The church is demanding justice and calling for an end to violence, homicides, and the disappearances that plague the entire country. In Tuesday's protest, a group of people walked on Reforma Avenue to what is now known as the Roundabout of the Disappeared. Most of the demonstrators were parents of the disappeared who show their solidarity with the priest. Italy is declaring a state of emergency in 5 northern states. The region has been hit by the worst drought in 70 years. The effects can be seen most dramatically here at the River Po. Entire regions rely on it for hydropower, drinking water, transportation, and irrigation. In hunger-ravaged South Sudan, the World Food Program has suspended food aid to nearly a third of the more than 6 million people it feeds there. The African nation has been hit by devastating floods and droughts, with millions on the brink of starvation. The crisis has been worsened by Russia's war in Ukraine, which has trapped grain shipments in ports and sent food prices soaring. As Deborah Pattis shows us, the cuts in food aid are having devastating consequences on children in South Sudan.
There hasn't been much to sing about for months in the village of Kuerie. But all that could change today. A marriage is on the cards. Wearing a green dress and an ill-fitting wig, bride-to-be Nyakuath Manyuan is treated like royalty. She can save this community from starvation. But it comes at a terrible cost. The bride is a child. She is just 14 years old.
2 months ago, Nyakuath had a future beyond this village. She was in school, where she received not only an education, but a meal once a day. And then that school feeding scheme came to an abrupt halt.
This community has been living on water lilies, but at least kids were being fed at school. When a cash-strapped World Food Program had to suspend that, it forced parents to choose between food or education. The women wait for news. Nyakuath seems tired and resigned to her fate. I know I'm young, she says, but I want my family to survive on the dowry they will get. Under a nearby tree, the men are negotiating the bride price. Her father, Manyuan Karena, lays out his sticks. Each one represents a cow. He wants 100 in exchange for his daughter.
She's a child. How does it make you feel as a father?
It hurts, her father says. The cows we are getting are hardly worth it. But we are afraid we don't have anything to eat. After several hours, a deal is struck. The cowbells ring, but times are tough. The family is only getting 60 poorly fed cattle, but it means the 25-year-old groom gets to take Nyakuath home tonight.
If I was 14 years old and leaving my mom and dad, I would find that difficult.
No, it will never be difficult, she says, because I want them to be alive. Yakuath loves science and dreams of being a doctor. But there are many ways hunger can destroy a life.
It costs just $15 a month to feed a school child here. That's the equivalent of 4 to 5 cups of coffee, but it ensures an education. Deborah Patter, CBS News, Juba, South Sudan.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back with the news you need to know before you head out the door. Headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Pittsburgh police arrest 2 of 4 suspects in an alleged robbery and battery case. On Saturday, officers responded to a call about a man trying to enter someone's house, and when they arrived, they found an injured man who said he had been attacked by 4 men, one of whom had a gun. Later, police pulled over a pickup matching a description from the victim and found 3 men inside. 1 ran away, 2 were arrested. Official charges have not yet been filed. The victim is said to be in stable condition at the hospital. It was a deadly holiday weekend on Southwest Missouri roads. The Missouri Highway Patrol reports 6 traffic fatalities statewide in the counting period between 6 p.m. Friday and midnight last night. Half of those were in our area. 3 separate accidents we previously reported. Wayne Sprinkle of Jasper died in a motorcycle crash in Barton County. Bruce Dodge of Wyandotte, Oklahoma died in a motorcycle crash in Seneca, Missouri. And Brian Bradley of Diamond died in a UTV crash near Diamond. Statewide, the patrol worked 107 traffic injuries. Some Missouri water and wastewater customers could see a rate increase. Missouri America Water submitted a rate review request to the Missouri Public Service Commission. If this request is approved, the bill for a typical volumetric customer using an average of 4,200 gallons of water monthly would increase by about $12 to $13 per month. The bill for volumetric wastewater customers would stay about the same, where for flat rate wastewater customers, it would increase by about $3 to $10 per month. The review is expected to take about 11 months. Southwest Missouri reports its first case of monkeypox. Officials with the Springfield-Greene County Health Department say a Greene County resident tested positive for the virus. They say monkeypox spreads through prolonged and close contact. Symptoms for the virus can range from a blistering rash on various parts of the body, fever, headache, and swollen lymph nodes. Authorities say this is the 3rd case of monkeypox reported in the state of Missouri. That's a check of today's top headlines. The news you need to know before you head out the door.
Waiting on that sun to rise in about 13 minutes is when it's going to do so. And when it does, this temperature we're sitting at in Joplin right now is going to go through the roof. 80 degrees is where it's at. It feels like 82, and most of us are sitting in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. A look at that 7-day forecast does show the warming trend continues. We have an excessive heat warning today through tomorrow, so that's why we've got alert days today and tomorrow. Temperatures pushing lower 100s, heat index values pushing about 110. Brief cool down on Saturday, maybe, before the summer kicks back in. We'll have a complete look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Well, film buffs have a new reason to see more movies over the next few months. AMC Theaters is now offering $5 Discount Tuesdays. Tickets will be just $5 plus tax for all members of the AMC Stubs program, which is free to join. Discount Tuesdays has already begun and runs through the end of October. To sweeten the deal, AMC also has popcorn and drink specials set for Tuesdays. Houston rapper Megan Thee Stallion created a t-shirt line that she hopes will empower and celebrate women. The shirt reads, "Love yourself and the other Plan B." She posted on her website that she'll be making a donation from sales to Planned Parenthood. She encourages her fans to visit PlannedParenthood.org to learn more. Grammy-winning artist Lizzo is using her shapewear and athleisure brand to shine a light on the Supreme Court's decision overturning Roe v. Wade. The Yiddy website reads, "For the entire 4th of July weekend, Lizzo pledged 100% of net proceeds to the National Network of Abortion Funds." The Yiddy and Fabletics collaboration launched in April. We'll be right back.
We are heading for a high that is going to be unpleasant. Right now, we're waiting on that sun to rise. It's going to do so at 6:04. Temperatures already rising now. 81 in Joplin, feels like 83. That means temperatures rising across the 4 states as well. Most of us sitting in the upper 70s. to that nice warm spot down in Joplin. Temperatures are going to continue to climb as we head throughout the day. 101 by 5 o'clock. That is, that's all I can say about that. As we go into the overnight, not much relief though. 11, 86, 81 by 2 a.m. as we start the day tomorrow. Same as today, upper 70s for everybody. As we head through the day, as I mentioned, pretty much everybody going into the upper 90s to lower 100s, and those heat index values going to be pushing about 110 degrees as we head into the afternoon, which is why we have an excessive heat warning, and it runs for most of us through tomorrow. We've got some folks in northeast Oklahoma. They're a little luckier, I guess, if you could say so, with a heat advisory, but that excessive heat warning today through tomorrow. Temperatures in the lower 100s, some relief Saturday before summer makes another return this weekend, or next week rather. We've got your complete forecast and more news when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Coming up, the Joplin City Council turns its focus to stormwater and wastewater projects, as well as helping small businesses.
Skywatch Storm Tracker free and clear. It's going to remain that way as we see another hot day in the 4 states. Latest in the Skywatch Weather Center.
And the Joplin Public Library hosts a fun and educational summertime play date for some area kids.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Buck. We'll have those stories plus a visit from Kavanaugh Studevin from the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce. But first, let's say good morning to our very own Chris Warner.
Good morning, if you can call it that with these temperatures. It's a beautiful morning, though.
Hot morning.
The sky is clear, as you can see. Skywatch Storm Tracker, there's nothing on it. There's some stuff off to our northwest, though. Showers, thunderstorms, but as you can see, A, it's not really heading our direction, and B, it's going to break up before it can really do much of anything anyway, so unfortunately no relief there. 7th and range line looking east. The sun is set to officially rise in about 3 minutes. It is sitting at 81 in Joplin with a feels like of 83. Most of us are sitting in the upper 70s to that 80-degree mark, and it's going to be another hot one as we head through the day. Pushing highs in the lower 100s under sunny skies with a breeze, but it's really not going to feel like a lot of a breeze. And we're going to head into tonight. Temperatures dipping down. That's not even the right word. Temperatures hovering. Low 80s, upper 70s as we start the day tomorrow. 7-day forecast shows us a little bit of relief maybe on Saturday with an isolated storm as a cool front comes through, and then summer decides that it's not done with its stranglehold on us yet, and it returns promptly on Sunday with temperatures pushing once again the lower 100s. And a quick reminder, alert days on there because we have an excessive heat warning that runs from today into tomorrow because of those lower 100 temperatures and heat index values pushing 110.
Ooh.
110.
Yeah, we don't even want to put those on there.
I really wish I didn't have to. I mean, I
but
could go in here and change these temperatures to something more pleasant, but it would be a lie, and I don't want to do that.
My curiosity is, what's the difference between Thursday and Friday? Why we have an alert day on Thursday but not on Friday?
That is because, see, the alert day is for when there's weather alerts of some sort in place, and the excessive heat warning expires at midnight Thursday. Now, that's not to say it couldn't go on, but at least right now it officially expires. I guess it's because they felt through the week they've warned us enough it's going to be hot. So they probably feel by Friday, we already know it's not going to be nice outside.
Maybe it's just wishful thinking.
Maybe. You never know. It is the 4 states, so you never know.
I'm sure it'll pop back up. We'll get it. Yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Well, Pittsburgh police arrest 2 of 4 suspects in an alleged robbery and battery case. On Saturday, officers responded to a call about a man trying to enter someone's house. When they arrived, they found an injured man who said he had been attacked by 4 men, one of whom had a gun. Later, police pulled over a pickup matching a description from the victim and found 3 men inside. 1 ran away, 2 were arrested. Official charges have not yet been filed. The victim is said to be in stable condition at the hospital. Holiday weekend made for some deadly roads in southwest Missouri. The Missouri Highway Patrol reports 6 traffic fatalities statewide in the counting period between 6 p.m. Friday and midnight last night. Half of those were in our area. And 3 separate accidents we previously reported Wayne Sprinkle of Jasper died in a motorcycle crash in Barton County. Bruce Dodge of Wyandotte, Oklahoma died in a motorcycle crash in Seneca, Missouri. And Brian Bradley of Diamond died in a UTV crash near Diamond. Statewide, the patrol worked 107 traffic injuries. Joplin Chamber of Commerce submits its quarterly update to the City Council. The unemployment rate in the Joplin Metro is 3.4%. Job growth has seen a 2.8% increase since the start of the pandemic. On Tuesday, the council also outlined plans for funds from the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. Joplin is receiving $13 million that must be used by the end of 2026. Council is considering 4 projects. 3 would be stormwater projects. 1 focuses on wastewater. Deadlines to register to vote for upcoming elections is drawing near. Folks in Missouri are just about out of time. The deadline for the August 2nd primary in the Show Me State is today. For the August 2nd primary in Kansas, the deadline is July 12th. Oklahomans will also vote on the 2nd. They need to register by Friday, though. And in Arkansas, the deadline is July 10th for an election on August 9th.
Seems like that the younger folks seems like they don't have the desire to turn out to vote. They don't maybe think that it's important, but it is absolutely important. You know, this is the type of election that we will choose those that are going to be leading this country for the next 2 and 4 years.
Authorities have issued charges in the 4th of July mass shooting in Highland Park and say more charges will follow. Suspect in the Highland Park shooting now faces 7 counts of first-degree murder as the death toll from Monday's shooting rises to 7. Victims include an 88-year-old grandmother, and the 2 youngest are parents. Authorities say the shooter fired more than 70 rounds from a rooftop on the parade route. They also say he initially avoided capture by dressing in women's clothing and blending into the crowd. Police were called to the suspect's home twice in 2019 for threats of violence and suicide. We'll have more on the Highland shooting later in the show. Well, the new antenna now sits at the top of our tower, but for now, we are broadcasting from a temporary antenna a little bit lower on the tower, all in preparation to transition to a new, more powerful transmitter. Just a little more patience. That's all we ask. Patience while our signal looks glitchy. But upon completion of this project, we're going to be broadcasting with more power than ever. And remember, you can check out the progress anytime on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com/power. How much better does it get than playing with bubbles on a summer day? Can't think of anything. The Joplin Public Library brought both of those things together for a summertime play date. Children from 2 to 5 years old played outside for some hands-on learning. The program featured activities that featured the use of water, sand, chalk, and children also saw the newest Story Walk book, Baby Beluga.
I wanted to give my daughter an opportunity to get out, socialize with other kids, and I find all the hands-on activities very important.
To learn more events the library is hosting, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. On this date, back in 1957, Alethea Gibson becomes the first African-American to win a championship at London's All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club. At a time when tennis was largely segregated, 4-time U.S. Nationals winner Alice Marble advocated on Gibson's behalf, and the 5'11" player was invited to make her United States National Championships debut in 1950. And then in 1956, Gibson's tennis career took off. She won the singles title at the French Championships, the first African-American to do so, as well as the doubles title. In September of 1957, she won the U.S. Open, and the Associated Press named her Female Athlete of the Year in both 57 and 58. During the 1950s, Gibson won 56 singles and doubles titles, including 11 major titles.
That is an impressive record.
Yeah, it is.
Is about the only thing I can do decently well. I couldn't play professionally, but I do it decently well.
Tennis.
But I don't think I could play as well as she did, so.
It's one sport that I never really got into.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I remember in high school we had badminton inside, and then when it was nice out, we'd do tennis outside, and it was kind of fun.
I've played badminton. I'm pretty good at badminton.
See, I was all right at badminton. I think, you know, the shuttlecock was difficult because of its design to really go, but tennis wasn't bad. Tennis was not bad at all. You know, talking about real quick the library story, Baby Beluga. We were talking about this. I had to bring it
discovered
up.
the words.
So there's a song by Raffi called Baby Beluga, and Tanya hadn't heard it. I'm not going to sing it, but I did find the lyrics, and it all just kind of came back to me. I remember learning it in elementary school, and so...
Just give me a line from it.
Well, it says here, Baby Beluga in the deep blue sea, swim so wild and you swim so free, heaven above and the sea below, and a little white whale on the go.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic song. If you are on the go today, it's going to be hot. I wanted to show you this real quick because I didn't get to talk about it. This is Thursday. We may see an isolated thunderstorm. I didn't want anybody to be caught off guard come Thursday. 7-day forecast, though, not showing a lot of good news, except for maybe Saturday. A cool front comes through, pushes us down to 93 before summer makes a prompt return.
All right, sounds good. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Kavanaugh Studevin from the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce stops by to tell us all about Second Tuesday. We'll explain. And charges in the Highland Park shooting.
A 7th victim has died following the mass shooting at a 4th of July parade here in Highland Park, Illinois. I'm Bradley Blackburn with the charges the suspect now faces and how police say he planned his attack.
And we take you inside one hospital's cancer treatment center. It boasts an art gallery and even has a staff curator of art who oversees the collection. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, the mayor of Akron, Ohio has now declared a state of emergency. Protesters believe police body cam video released by the authorities fails to explain why 8 officers opened fire, hitting Jalen Walker more than 60 times. Protesters are also demanding a Justice Department investigation of the police department's culture and policies. Elise Preston is outside the Akron police station.
Black Lives Matter! Tension, outrage, and sorrow filled the streets in Akron, where hundreds of protesters demonstrated for a 4th consecutive day, demanding justice in the police shooting death of 25-year-old Jalen Walker.
Today, we're going to the power structure.
Activist Raymond Grain Jr. led the march toward the mayor's house with a list of demands.
That could have been my son or one of my daughters. Jalen Walker is us. Jalen Walker is me.
The mayor declared a state of emergency, and businesses boarded up windows in anticipation of violent unrest.
That vehicle just had a shot come out of its door.
Authorities say Walker fired a round and fled his car after officers tried to pull him over for an unspecified traffic violation last week. After Walker jumped from the vehicle, the police chief says Walker appeared to reach down to his waist and turn toward officers who were chasing him before they unloaded a barrage of bullets.
Clearly, they thought that this was an individual who had access to a weapon.
Keith Taylor, a New York Police Department veteran, says it appears officers follow their training, but new protocols might be necessary.
To the extent to which policies can be developed that will lessen the number of officers that are simultaneously utilizing lethal force, I think that would be better for all involved.
Walker sustained more than 60 wounds and was unarmed when he was killed. Police say a gun was later recovered from his car.
Are you angry? Are you hurt? How are you feeling?
I'm angry, I'm pissed off, I'm disgusted. I want a new mayor. I want new leadership in this city.
It's unclear when or if additional body camera footage will be released. Meanwhile, that nighttime curfew for downtown Akron will remain in effect until further notice. That's a look at today's top national stories. We'll be right back with Kavanaugh Studevin from the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce live in the studio right after this.
Welcome back. Kavanaugh Studevin joins us again this morning from the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce. And you know, if it's July and it's hot outside, the best thing to get your mind off the summer heat is Christmas.
It's Christmas and snow and jolly music.
So you guys have an event planned in CJ that does all of that.
Yes, it's outside, so it's going to be hot, but we're going to be channeling Christmas, channeling some cooler weather. We do a second Tuesday on Main Street in Carl Junction. This will be the second year that we've been doing it, and it is next Tuesday, July 12th, and we are celebrating Christmas in July.
Yay!
And I'm really excited because our sponsor this month is Foster Adopt Connect. And they are an organization here in Joplin that help foster families make that transition. They have emergency items with Sammy's Closet and window and all of these things. So I'm really excited to have Tom Furr, the director, there with us that night. And so to sort of spotlight that, he's bringing like those artificial Christmas trees. Lots of lights, we'll have some live music. So it's a lot of fun for the community to come together and just celebrate
definitely.
with a street fair.
Yeah, why not?
I know.
Will there be a visit from jolly old St. Nick?
I mean, I'm trying, hopefully, fingers crossed. Maybe he'll be in shorts or a swimsuit or something because it is going to be hot. But it's a lot of fun. We have tons of food trucks on our chamber lot. We have a lot of vendors and booths, either boutique selling items. I know some of them will be selling Christmas and holiday. They're going to do some holiday specials. So if you can get your Christmas shopping done early.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right? And then we have a lot of giveaways, people giving freebies out, games. There's bounce houses for the kids from Joplin House of Bounce. Like I said, live music from St. Paul's Church here in Carl Junction. And so it's just a lot of fun to, if you've never been to Carl Junction, to come out and experience a fun community event.
Yeah, and it's during the week. You plan your trips and vacations and stuff on the weekend during the summer. So most people don't have things going on Tuesday nights.
Exactly.
So
and we do. It's from 4:30 to 7:30. So we like to keep it a little early so you have enough time to maybe grab an early dinner, stick around. There's always dessert trucks so you can get some ice cream because it's going to be hot. But I absolutely love this event.
Where's it going to be located at?
It's right on Main Street in Carl Junction, right in front of our chamber office. We are between Water and Wise Street. So if you've ever been to CJ or where the community center is, and Ruby Jack Trail, so that's where we're going to be. We're going to line up that street. You won't be able to miss it.
Okay, sounds like a blast.
I know, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Do people need to bring anything, lawn chairs or anything like that?
You can if you want to, because there is going to be some live music. So we'd love for you to stick around for the full 3 hours, but you don't have to. And there's tons of parking around us. And then while you're there, maybe explore Carl Junction. We've got some great boutiques down on Main Street. We have our restaurants. And so it's just, a chance to showcase Carl Junction. And it's completely free. So come out, and there's always something. It's a family friendly, lots of stuff to do with the kiddos, and the booths are really, really fun because a lot of them will follow themes, so they're going to be dressed up. I expect Christmas trees. Maybe someone will bring fake snow. I don't know. That would be a lot of fun, but.
You can come dressed for Christmas. Just be smart about it. You don't wear the heavy stuff.
The heavy stuff, yes. But it's a fun theme, and I thought it was perfect being, we hear about Christmas in July, and it's hot outside, so let's, celebrate the holiday season and be able to also celebrate Foster Adopt Connect. Because I know they're going to be doing some donations. They do a holiday campaign, and they're going to kick it off a little bit early with their organization just because they're sponsoring this month.
All right, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
So you guys have done the second Tuesday events in the past. Are they always in July, or?
So there's typically a summer series. So last month we celebrated with a Bulldog block party. Right. This month will be Christmas in July, and then in August we will do a retro night. So that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people have been asking me, well, what era? And I'm like, all of them, And so we'll finish it out on August 9th. So it's something to look forward to, and then obviously come September is our Bluegrass Festival. So this is why we like to keep this, a summer series, and it's always on the second Tuesday of that month.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun, a great way for the community to interact and bond over the summer.
Exactly. Yeah. Come together and celebrate, but also, it really is also to bring people to Carl Junction. It's a chance, if you've never been there before, we're not far from Joplin, we're not far from Pittsburgh, Carthage, Neosho. People really do come from all over, and they're looking for something free and fun to do with their family. School's out, and so that's why we keep doing it. I never get rid of it, just because it's a lot of fun, and our businesses love to participate participate. It's a chance for them to have fun and get their name out there and be able to celebrate as well.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And again, real quick details of when and where.
Yeah, so it is this coming up Tuesday, July 12th, and it's from 4:30 to 7:30. All of the information is also on our website, carljunctioncc.com, and our Facebook page, so you can find this month and next month's date.
All right, sounds like a blast.
Cool.
All right, thank you so much for coming in again
Thank
this
you.
morning.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Topping Health Watch this morning, they say art is in the eye of the beholder, but at New Fine Art Museum in Detroit, the audience is a group you might not expect. Patients receiving treatment for cancer. Bradley Blackburn has more on how fine art is changing their hospital experience and may even help heal.
If you just focus on the walls or what's hanging from the ceiling, you might not realize this art is in the middle of a hospital. At Detroit's Henry Ford Health Cancer Institute, a new state-of-the-art facility has an art gallery, and along with doctors and nurses, a chief art curator.
I never expected that would lead me to healthcare. You know, if I'm being honest, it was a surprise.
Megan Winkle worked at some of Detroit's finest museums and galleries before helping build this collection. She says research shows art can reduce anxiety and promote better health outcomes.
These are people who are coming to us at a very difficult time in their lives.
You go there every single day for chemo or radiation. So I would purposely take different ways to go see the art.
Nicole Key was diagnosed with stage 3 metastatic breast cancer in 2020. She spoke with us from the art classroom where she teaches kindergarten through 8th grade about the value of the art at the Cancer Institute.
Chemo takes so much out of you, but this art puts something in.
Yes. Yes. When you are there for those few minutes and seeing that artwork, it takes you to a different place.
Many of the artists have a personal connection to cancer. Susan Goethel Campbell's art is in museums and private collections, but the work she made for the Cancer Pavilion is special. Her late husband died of the disease.
To have this joy on the walls, on the floor, with their sculptures, it really lifts you out of your current world. It gives you a little reprieve.
Fine art for the enjoyment of patients and their caretakers in an unexpected place. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Henry Ford Health hopes to expand the art program to other facilities, and they say they have been approached by hospitals around the country who want to learn more about how they are using art. Let's look at one of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. It's going to be a toasty one as we head through the week. There's a cold front, if you can call it that, coming in by Saturday. Going to drop temperatures, and let's take a look at that in the 7-day forecast. Excessive heat warning does continue through tomorrow, and that's because of those temperatures. Look at that. Lower 100s for highs. Heat index values pushing 110. A little bit of relief on Saturday. And then July decides to heat things back up with highs pushing the lower 100s again by next week.
Coming up, the Joplin City Council turns its focus to stormwater and wastewater projects, as well as helping small businesses.
The sun is rising, which will give way to another hot day. We'll break down the full forecast in the Skywatch Weather Center.
And the Joplin Public Library hosts a fun and educational summertime play date for some area kids.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:31. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories and much more in just a moment. But first, let's focus on the heat.
I don't know that we want to. We've been focusing on the heat for the last several days, and I think we're doing too much focusing. So I've got a theory. What if we all crank up the AC in our house and then we all open our windows? You think that might contribute to some cooling?
So you mean,
we let all the cold air out. You know, I don't think it will either, but I mean, it's a thought. Sunny skies, sun is rising. It is 81 in Joplin right now. Feels like 83. Most of us sitting in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Those temperatures are going to continue to increase throughout the day as we head for a high in the lower 100s for most of us. 96 by noon, 101 by 5. 98 by 8, not cooling off much tonight either as we dip back into the lower 80s and upper 70s. We're going to start tomorrow the same way we started today, toasty warm. We'll have a full look at that 7-day forecast if you dare a little bit later.
Makes that Christmas time in July event in Carl Junction next Tuesday sound more appealing.
It certainly does.
Yeah,
if
for
only
sure.
they could make it cold enough, and I'll see what I can do. But
Hey, they're going to have ice cream, so.
that's close enough.
There
Close
you go.
enough.
We'll take that. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Joplin Chamber of Commerce submits its quarterly update to the City Council. The unemployment rate in the Joplin Metro is 3.4%. Job growth has seen a 2.8% increase since the start of the pandemic. And on Tuesday, the council also outlined plans for funds from the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. Joplin is receiving $13 million that must be used by the end of 2026. The council is considering 4 projects. 3 would be storm water projects and 1 focuses on wastewater. Well, some Missouri water and wastewater customers could see a rate increase. Missouri America Water submitted a rate review request to the Missouri Public Service Commission. If this request is approved, the bill for a typical volumetric customer using an average of 4,200 gallons of water monthly would increase by about $12 to $13 per month. The bill for volumetric wastewater customers would stay about the same, where for flat rate wastewater customers, it would increase by about $3 to $10 per month. The review is expected to take about 11 months. The death toll in Monday's mass shooting at the 4th of July parade has grown to 7. Bradley Blackburn reports.
The suspect in the Highland Park Independence Day Parade mass shooting now faces 7 counts of first-degree murder.
There will be dozens of more charges against Mr. Cremo. But these 7 counts of first-degree murder will lead to a mandatory life sentence should he be convicted, without the possibility of parole.
The death toll rose to 7 after another shooting victim died in the aftermath of Monday's attack in the Chicago suburb. The victims killed include an 88-year-old grandfather. The 2 youngest are parents of a 2-year-old boy who survived the rampage and is now an orphan. Dr. Lauren Schechter escaped the gunfire and went back to help.
I'm a surgeon. I've worked in trauma. The wounds we saw were military-level wounds.
Authorities say that alleged gunman, 21-year-old Robert Cremo III, fired more than 70 rounds as he hid on a rooftop here along the parade route.
He brought a high-powered rifle to this parade. He accessed the roof of a business via a fire escape ladder and began opening fire.
Police say the suspect initially avoided being caught by dressing in women's clothing and blending into the panicked crowd.
When I was down on the ground, the guy next to me looked like his leg was shot off, and the woman in front of him was completely covered with blood. And when I saw that, I'm like, you just need to get up and run.
According to police, authorities were called to the suspect's home twice in 2019 for threats of violence and suicide. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Highland Park, Illinois.
Investigators say Cremo legally purchased 5 weapons, including the one used in the shooting. His attorney, Thomas Durkin, says he intends to enter a not guilty plea to all charges. Well, if you're ever on the go and want to still be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge on the Apple and Google Play stores, as well as Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Just search for KOAM Plus. Well, some kids in Joplin spent the day hanging out at the library. Joplin Public Library hosted its summertime play date. Children from 2 to 5 years old played outside for some hands-on learning. The program featured activities featuring the use of water, sand, and chalk. Children also saw the newest Story Walk book, Baby Beluga.
It's really just an opportunity to take advantage of our great outdoor space, kind of play, just engage in unstructured play.
If you want to find more events the library is hosting, you can visit our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. On this date, back in 1976 in Annapolis, Maryland, the United States Naval Academy admits women for the first time in its history with the induction of 81 female midshipmen. In May of 1980, Elizabeth Ann Rowe became the first woman member of the class to graduate. And 4 years later, Christine Holdered became the first female midshipman to graduate at the top of her class. U.S. Naval Academy opened in Annapolis in October of 1845 with 50 midshipman students and 7 professors. The Naval School officially became the U.S. Naval Academy in 1850, and a new curriculum went into effect requiring midshipmen to study at the academy for 4 years and to train aboard ships each summer, the basic format that remains at the academy to this day. It's called hands-on learning.
That certainly is, and hands-on learning is the best way to go. See, my dad was in the Navy. He did 22 years.
Wow.
But that was before my time, because something to keep in mind, just a fun fact about me, my dad turned 50 the year I was born.
Wow.
And I've got a little sister. So he had been out of the Navy for a hot minute by the time I came along, and so, yeah.
But I'm sure he had lots of stories to pass along.
Oh my gosh, did he ever. He told a number of interesting stories, including, you know, he's told it, so I can tell it. He told a story once about how he and another officer tracked what they believed to be a UFO out in the middle of the Atlantic. He said some guy called him up to the bridge to look at something on the radar, and he took a look at it. They couldn't figure out what it was. They called the captain. He didn't know what it was, and it was just something. I can't remember the whole story, but that's what he told me, among many other interesting things. Also interesting, the forecast. It's going to be hot again. Excessive heat warning continues through tomorrow. We are already sitting in the upper 70s to lower 80s across the area, and we're heading for highs in the lower 100s as the day progresses.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, the future of grocery stores.
More of these plastic-free, zero-waste grocery stores are popping up. I'm Anthony Purra with the difference they're hoping to make.
Plus, talk about girl power. We're going to take a walk with some women who have inspired other women to get up and move. And what about you? We want to know if you have a regular workout routine. We let you weigh in. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, more plastic-free, zero-waste grocery stores are popping up. Anthony Purra has more about the difference they're looking to make and how they're catching on with shoppers.
The Mighty Bin Market offers groceries without the prepackaged plastic. Isabel De Milan opened the zero-waste, plastic-free grocery store in San Diego as an option for environmentally conscious consumers like her.
I tried really hard to go to regular grocery stores and find things not in packaging, as well as non-toxic products, and it was just such a mission to find.
But in here, customers can find many traditional grocery items, as well as personal care and household products. They're stored in large bins and glass dispensers, meaning shoppers will need one of these to put them in.
Customers can buy jars from the store. They can get a donated one or bring their own, which can then be reused and refilled.
While many grocery stores like this one are starting to pop up across the country, it's still very niche. Corey Chafin is a food industry consultant.
I think you could see more coming up in certain geographic areas where you have high urban density and you have a consumer who's willing to go through a greater degree of inconvenience for that.
He says the biggest hurdle zero-waste, plastic-free grocery stores face is changing consumer behavior.
Though you may intend to shop in a certain way, in practice you're going to go with what is most price effective and what's convenient for you.
It's just going to be a learning curve, but once you get a hang of it, you know, people have told me they really enjoy this way of shopping. Plastic free.
De Milan believes it can catch on, hoping individual habits lead to collective change. Anthony Purra, CBS News, San Diego, California.
That's it for Consumer Watch. Let's go over to Chris for our Something to Talk About.
Well, this morning we're discussing exercise routines. A group of women in Phoenix, Arizona are taking on hiking trails and parks across the city. The group invite women and their dogs, and some even bring their kids to walk together every Sunday. These women go from strangers to becoming friends. Two of the women who participate in the group even go out together during the week, reinforcing the group helps people bond. Now, it helps also build a community for these women as well, and that does bring us to our Something to Talk About. Do you have a workout routine? So when we first did this, 100% of you said absolutely not. I'm in that 100%. Right now, though, it's almost an even split. 53% of you say you don't, but 47% of you say that you do. You can participate in the poll by going to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also do so in the KOAM News Now app, and we invite you to take part in the discussion on our Facebook page at facebook.com/KOAM Fox 14. Before we go to break, let's check in with Gail to see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, Nate talks with Chris Martin and Coldplay. Who doesn't love them? See how the band is finding new ways to open doors for all of their fans. Nate explains. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
All right, we'll kick off our birthday list this morning up in Fort Scott, Kansas, with a 10th birthday celebration for Kade Hickson. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Hey, we've got Xenia Seaver turning 11 in Nevada. So a very happy birthday to Xenia.
And Mackenzie Green turns 15 this year. Mackenzie is celebrating in Weir, Kansas. We've got birthday love coming from Aunt Charity and Uncle Jamie.
We've also got in Girard, Kaylee Powell is now old enough to drive a car. She is 16. So Kaylee, a very happy birthday to you, and watch out for the other crazy people on the road.
That's for sure. And in Columbus, Mr. Clint Saporito celebrating birthday number 44 this year. Hope it's a great one.
He's celebrating the right way considering the temperatures we've got. Nothing like a good grilling day, right?
Yeah.
We've also got Terry Thompson in Pittsburgh turning 62 years old. Happy birthday, Terry.
All right, and Steve Allen turning double sixes this year in Joplin with love from Darlene.
We've also got John Turchek turning 76 in Carl Junction. And John, this comes with love from the entire family on your big day.
All right, switching over to a few anniversaries. The Strouds are celebrating 48 wonderful years together in Frontenac. Congrats going out to Brian and Kathleen Stroud.
We've also got Craig and Charity Burchett, their 20th anniversary over in Liberal. A very happy anniversary to both of you.
And if the Burchetts are celebrating 20 years, that means the Phillips are celebrating 70 years. Roger and Iona are actually Charity's grandparents. That's pretty cool. Also in Liberal, so they get to have a double anniversary celebration. 70 years for Roger and Iona.
There's going to be an entire town celebration in Liberal. And then, check out this guy. You recognize that background, right? That's because it's from here in the studio, because Mr. Elmer Thorne, as we know him lovingly as E.T., is celebrating a birthday today. One of our fine sales folks who, without folks like Elmer, we can't pay our bills. So we are very thankful to you, Elmer, and a very happy birthday to you as well.
See Mr. Thorne for all of your advertising needs. Yes. And our list goes on. We've got Sydney Lumpkins turning 18 years old this year in Oronogo. And Caitlin Nash, happy birthday to you as well.
Hey, and I've got good news. You know what we've got here at KOAM? We call it the KOAM Birthday Club. And you know how you can be a part of this birthday club? All you have to do is, well, I forgot. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So first, submit your birthdays to the email addresses you saw, and then go to KOAMnewsnow.com and sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You get special deals from local businesses. Plus, Tanya and I will say a good happy birthday to you. All you need to do, go to our website, sign up for that birthday club.
All right, we take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Staff Sergeant Dan Stumpfel. The Fort Scott, Kansas native served from 1943 to 1946 as part of the 389th Infantry Regiment. This highly decorated veteran earned the Asiatic Pacific Service Medal, the Expert Infantry Marksman Medal as well. To Staff Sergeant Dan Stumpfel, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
We have got another warm one on the way for us today. Look at these temperatures this morning. We're in the upper 70s by Yates Center. Look, everybody's starting to join the 80s club now. Chanute at 80, Joplin 81, Carthage at 80. And these temperatures, all they're going to do from here is climb as we head throughout the day. 96 by noon, 101 by 5, 98 by 8. Under very sunny skies. As we head into the overnight, temperatures really not dipping off too much. 86 by 11, 81 by 2 a.m. And we're going to start the day tomorrow the same way we started it today, with some of those upper 70s and maybe some lower 80s. Excessive heat warning today, tomorrow. That's why we have alert days. Heat index values pushing 110 degrees. Maybe a little bit of relief on Saturday. And also, tomorrow, maybe an isolated storm, and then summer, take a look at that, making a very quick return to the 4 states with temperatures pushing into the upper 90s to lower 100s. We've got more when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Out the door. Pittsburgh police arrest 2 of 4 suspects in an alleged robbery and battery case. On Saturday, officers responded to a call about a man trying to enter someone's house. When they arrived, they found an injured man who said he had been attacked by 4 men, one of whom had a gun. Later, police pulled over a pickup matching a description from the victim and found 3 men inside. 1 ran away, 2 were arrested. Official charges have not yet been filed. The victim is said to be in stable condition at the hospital. It was a deadly holiday weekend on southwest Missouri roads. The Missouri Highway Patrol reports 6 traffic fatalities statewide in the counting period between 6 p.m. Friday and midnight last night. Half of those were in our area. 3 separate accidents we previously reported. Wayne Sprinkle of Jasper died in a motorcycle crash in Barton County. Bruce Dodge of Wyandotte, Oklahoma died in a motorcycle crash in Seneca, Missouri. And Brian Bradley of Diamond died in a UTV crash near Diamond. Statewide, the patrol worked 107 traffic injuries. Southwest Missouri reports its first case of monkeypox. Officials with the Springfield-Greene County Health Department say a Greene County resident tested positive for the virus. They say monkeypox spreads through prolonged and close contact. Symptoms for the virus can range from a blistering rash on various parts of the body, fever, headache, and swollen lymph nodes. Authorities say this is the 3rd case of monkeypox reported in the state of Missouri. Some Missouri water and wastewater customers could see a rate increase. Missouri American Water submitted a rate review request to the Missouri Public Service Commission. If this request is approved, the bill for a typical volumetric customer using an average of 4,200 gallons of water monthly would increase by about $12 to $13 per month. The bill for volumetric wastewater customers would stay about the same, where for flat rate wastewater customers it would increase by about $3 to $10 per month. The review is expected to take about 11 months. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Got an excessive heat warning that lasts into tomorrow, and that's because temperatures today and tomorrow and the next day pushing lower 100s with heat index values approaching 110 degrees as we head down the road. As you can see, it's not going to be too pleasant. We do have the chance of maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm come tomorrow morning, but really not enough to do anything for us. 7-day forecast showing us yucky temperatures until Saturday when we get a bit of a cool down, if you can call it that, before those lower 100s return starting next week.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making flank steak pinwheels in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Ooh, that sounds pretty darn good.
Yeah,
Your morning news continues on KOAM with the CBS Morning News next. President Biden has yet to respond to the WNBA star Brittany Griner's letter pleading for release from a Russian prison. And ahead on CBS Mornings, what this means for the basketball player as her trial date approaches.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Justin Alberti from the Grand River Dam Authority stops by our studio to talk about water safety. Plus, Ginny Moose takes us inside an eel pit man cave. We'll explain.
I certainly hope we will explain, because that sounds kind of horrifying, but maybe it's not as bad as it sounds. That's going to do it for us here on the KOAM Morning News. And again, we're going to see you back here tomorrow morning.
And we're going to do it all again today at noon.